Hi everybody, Jackie Schomburg-Abstract. Today's lesson is all about why it's so important to stay present when you're making art and why it's so important to play. And by play, I mean experiment, try new things, be open to what feels good right now in this moment when you're making art. I'm going to walk you through what I did last night, and I was in one of my Brave Art and Creative Wellness workshops. I felt so much in the present, and I had been going through old family albums and old boxes of pictures looking for pictures of a friend who recently passed away. And what I found were all these pictures of little kid Jackie, who was just a fearless badass. And I had forgotten that part of me, or at least it was much different looking at my little self and seeing how safe and secure and unapologetically myself I was. And now, 40-ish, 38 years later, feeling how sometimes I feel so unsure inside and so timid and overthinking and all the thoughts of trying to make everyone else's day better, or at least try to have people not get angry around me, and feeling I need to earn their love somehow. Seeing the pictures of myself really reminded me of who I am at my core. And all the other stuff that showed up is just blocking my view of that little girl. So, for today, I'm going to be talking about mixed media art in the simplest terms, just using more than one, so in this case, 2 different types of media in my art making. I'm using collage, I'm using crayons. That's it. And even switching things up just a tiny bit I changed the order that I normally work in and went and did the crayons first instead of the collage first. Just that little bit gave me this whole framework within which to work that made things so different. And because I followed that in the present and just focused on what felt good next and what felt good after that and what felt good after that, the whole art making process was this empowering process that you'll hear when I read you what I wrote in my journal after the art making. Just what I got out of it. So it was really awesome. It was a really empowering experience. I did start recording it late into the process because I thought that I wasn't going to be recording what I was making. And when I got to a certain point, I thought, you know what, this is feeling really special, just the experience of it. So I wanted to record it. Okay. So before the camera starts with the art making, I'm going to tell you what you missed. You missed me using my Neocolor 2 crayons. These are Neocolor 1s, but I use Neocolor 2s, which are water soluble. So I was able to take gloss medium and use my color shaper to smear it all around, which then spread some of the paint, spread some of the Neocolor crayon pigment around, much like watercolors-ish, but a little less loosey-goosey because it was gloss medium instead of water, so it doesn't flow as fast. And I made this giant rainbow across 2 pages in my sketchbook. Then, after I did that, and the gloss medium also is then sealing in that Neocolor 2 so it's not going to bleed anymore when I add more wetness of the collage pieces. Then I added collage pieces in, and I'll let the rest of the video speak for itself. But I wanted to invite you along. This is a very personal thing, but I think that it is universal enough to have these times where, at a certain point in our lives, we're so confident, so secure, so safe, and so just sure of ourselves. And then we have another part in our lives where we feel so lost, so insignificant, so insecure, overthinking all the things. And this is how I'm feeling now, that I want to get back to my little rainbow badass self. So, added bonus, I'm going to add some of the pictures that I found of me in here just to entertain and delight you, I guess, but so you can see my little fearless self. Okay, as I mentioned, I'm starting this video midway through this art making process because I had not intended to video it. I almost said videotape. I would have lost a lot of you on the younger side. I felt something special happening when I was doing this, and it felt important. So I decided to turn on my camera and start recording it. So what I've done so far is I've taken Neocolor 2 crayons. I have sealed them and smeared them with mixed media, with gloss medium to get there's some softer blended, more pastel-y colors with a lot of white showing through, and some more saturated colors where I've scribbled and kept those colors together. I began adding the collage elements to fit them in along the rainbow that I had created. And after the whole thing was done and I started writing and just doing the free writing, letting my brain dump onto my page through my pen, I learned so much. So that's what I'm going to share. Even though this isn't a full complete video of my whole process, I thought it was still worth sharing. So in these workshops, we start with our intention, and this is the longest intention I've probably ever written. Here's what I wrote. I am here. I am present. In this chair, at this table. I am home, in my head, in my heart. I take up space with ease. I am enough. I make myself even bigger to take up more space. I bring back the fearlessness of my 6-year-old self before life got hard, before I thought I had to perform to earn love. I embody my most fearless self and welcome her in to live here again. Then I started art making. And the first thing I did was tell everyone in the group, I'm going to start with collage because that's what I always do. And then I'm going to add some mixed media with some crayons. And the first thing I did was push the collage aside and start with the crayons. So immediately, and I bring that up because I want to, 1, give you permission to change your mind, and 2, to follow what feels good in the moment. I like to have prompts and places to start. So this is a mixed media prompt, right? Use collage and 1 other mark making anything. Crayons, markers, pencils, whatever. And if that doesn't feel right, or you move into something else, or you feel a strong desire to paint, by all means, do that. Don't try to stick to the rules, quote unquote, or the prompt. This is your time, so play. And so I really was present. I felt the urge to go for the crayons, so I went for it. And then I spent the rest of the time finding fun. This is a very whimsical, this is like a treat bag from one of my kids' birthday parties that has little hearts on it that reminded me so much of myself in the 80s when I always loved rainbows and I always loved hearts. And let's be honest, I still love rainbows and still love hearts. And the whole rainbowness of this really was empowering for me. And I don't know why for any other reason other than the more pictures I found of myself as I was looking through these old boxes of pictures were me in various bright clothes, rainbow drawings, rainbows on my clothes, wearing, overalls with rainbows and all these things, and just being unapologetically myself. And I realized how far I felt from that version of myself over the past week, looking through all these old pictures. And this art making time and this time to journal really brought me back to, wait, I am her. I've just gotten distracted and I've gotten pummeled by life in some ways, as we all have. And I've forgotten how to live not being afraid all the time and not being too tired. And, I'm not feeling very adventurous lately. And this girl in these pictures is adventurous and fearless and just a little rock star. So after the art making session, we move on to the witness writing, and I'm going to read you what I wrote here. All right, witness. I really have to stop saying what I'm going to do in these sessions because 2 minutes after saying I'm going to start with collage, I started with Neocolor 2s and made a giant rainbow across 2 pages. I smeared and sealed it with gloss medium, channeling my little rainbow-loving kiddo Jackie self. I added a speckled egg with a gray-blue background to the blue area of the page, and the hunt was on for more collage pieces to add. A hand picking out a single jelly bean. A woman relaxing in the sunshine. Is the egg a symbol of strength, growth, fragility, rebirth, transformation, new beginnings? Yes, 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 yes. All of it. Seeing photos of little me, fearless, fully confident, fully loved, and safe and secure Jackie, just before Dad left and my whole world turned upside down. Reminded me what I lost, sure, but also who I am at my core. I'm not a tired, cranky, anxious suburban mom. At my core, I am a fun-loving, curious, funny, full-color, unafraid, unapologetic badass who is secure in knowing who she is and that she is loved and lovable. I still am her. Just need to unpack and get rid of all the crap I'm hoarding so I can see her again. It's time. I'm ready. So I never could have predicted that drawing this rainbow and filling it in with some select pieces of paper along this rainbow journey would have felt so empowering and helped me process through what I was feeling after seeing all these images of myself. And like anyone as an adult, I feel like we always have times when we think like, hey, didn't I used to be fun once? Didn't I used to like not end my day at 9 and just watch TV until I went to bed? Certainly that's natural. And we all change habits as we grow older and have different things to focus on. And why shouldn't I be or remind myself of all of the moxie and gusto I used to have? And I know I have a lot of it still, but I'm still tired. So maybe if I put these pictures of my little self, my younger self, in front of me more often, it'll be easier to let go of some of the baggage that I've been carrying around and that I continue to carry around, and all the anxiousness and depression and feelings of not being good enough, and insert here all the things. We all have things. We all have things where we have doubts and we have insecurities. And this whole process is kind of like a living out loud, come to Jesus moment for me reminding myself that it's not like that part of me is gone. It's just been ignored because I can't see it over the stacks of all the other baggage that's in the way. So I'm going to clear out some of that baggage. And what if I just claim that I am loved and lovable? Period. End of sentence. Instead of wondering about it. Has wondering about it ever helped? I don't know that it has. What if I just take people at their word that they love me and want the best for me and not worry about it anymore? Huh? It's maybe this is completely obvious to everyone else. It was like a profound, oh, I could just make this a choice. Maybe it could be that simple. I'm hoping it can be that simple. So this is my goal. My goal is to just try to remember who I was at 6 and 7 when anything was possible, when I was the most secure I ever was, and the whole world made sense. Can I go back there in the best sense of that? In the sense of, can I claim that for me now? Now that I'm 45 and feeling far away from myself at times and feeling tired and not being sure of every single decision that I'm making every day and wanting it to all be the right decision. Maybe it's just enough to let go and trust myself. Say, I'm not sure if it's the right decision or not, but either way, I'll be here to either fix it later or make a different decision or reinforce that it was the right decision. I forget how flexible our lives can be. We can make wrong choices and still get back to the path that's meant for us. We can make mistakes and it's not fatal. Mistakes aren't fatal for the most part. But mistakes in, should I let my kids have Gatorade or not? Is there too much sugar and food coloring? Or should I just let it go and let them be kids and have fun? Right? These decisions are not earth-shattering decisions. And sometimes I overthink them so much and waste so much energy trying to make the right decision instead of just letting go and moving on. And then everyone does better. So, all that to say, if you need permission to channel your younger self, I give that to you. If you need permission to remind yourself who you are at your core and who you want to be, I give you that permission as well. And I hope that you are very proud of who you are and all that you've been through that's led you back to today, because you are a rock star. And if there's too much baggage in the way of you seeing that and seeing your best self, I would encourage you to come along with me and make some messy art, do some journaling, and get rid of some of that baggage so that you can see your fabulousness also.